You said Defender of the Year in the USL?
Yeah.
Whoo, real bad man. You don't know. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, it
You
was a
gotta
good
stop
year.
playing with him, man.
It was a good year for
So
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm assuming you go down there, you do your thing, you get that. Your phone blowing up, huh? Every team in MLS hitting you, huh?
Not really. No,
Damn, then they don't know ball
that's not
for
how
real.
it works,
It's
unfortunately.
crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world, though.
Welcome to another episode of Straight Like That, the podcast hosted by me, Instagram's favorite half brown boy, Camille. I got the boy Chef Curry. We don't do government names out here, so he's only Chef on the pod. Hey, and today's guest, man, we got a good one, bro. He's seen it all, won a couple of times. That's a serial winner. We got Sebastien Ibeagha, man. Welcome to the show, bro.
What's good? What's up?
Thank you for taking the time and hopping on. Hey, welcome, Chef. Welcome to another episode.
Happy to be here, man. We back still.
All right, man. Let's get straight to it. Seb, how'd you get into the sport for real?
Um, I mean, I was born in Nigeria, and that's everyone knows that's the number one sport there. So that's kind of how it all started. And then pretty much my whole life, it's always been a part of it. Even when I played other sports, it was soccer was always kind of like the main thing going on in the background, and was kind of the foundation for all the other sports I played. So yeah, it was just a obviously national game that I came to love at a young age, and I love to watch, and it just kind of stuck with me throughout my whole life.
Yeah. So how long were you over in Nigeria for?
Uh, well, I moved to the States when I was 9, but we moved around a lot when I was younger. So we spent like 2 years in Nigeria, a couple years in Ivory Coast. I think when I was really little, we are in Gabon, and then Scotland for a little bit, back to Nigeria, and then over here to the US.
And this is all before the age of 9?
Yeah,
Man, you've seen it all. So were you
yeah,
playing even during that time too?
yeah, all throughout. Obviously, parts when I was too young, no, but when I got a little bit old enough to actually play, then yeah, I played all throughout there.
Yeah. And what was it like over there?
It was good. I mean, I don't remember much now, but I mean, I
Hmm.
remember Nigeria the most, but and Scotland. But no, it was good. Uh, I mean, obviously, I had a blessed life being able to move around a lot like that as a kid and experiencing different cultures at such a young age. It was dope, and I'm very fortunate to been able to do all that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So you moved to the States. What state were you at?
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oklahoma. All right. So what's the football scene over there in Oklahoma, bro?
Uh, it was all right. I mean, the team I played for was nice. I played for Edmond Soccer Club, which is like the local club where we lived. And then as I got older and went into high school, I actually started playing for a team that was like 45 to an hour away, northeast in Tulsa.
Hmm.
And that team was really good. We had a really good squad, really good coach. He was a Nigerian coach as well. And so he kind of set like what the foundation was for me as a player and kind of taught me a lot of the important qualities, I would kind of say. And yeah,
Yeah. So how long were you playing for them and for that coach?
I was there. So for that coach, that was only like, I think that was throughout all high school. So that was about 4 years, I believe, around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you playing high school too, or you were just doing the club?
Yeah. We're playing high school because academies weren't really a thing yet or anything.
Yeah.
So we were both.
Yeah. So how was the high school scene over there?
It wasn't that good, to be honest.
Nah.
You like some like my high school was small, so we weren't playing like the better schools, but it was all right. It was competitive enough to like get you through that season before like clubs started again and stuff like that.
Was
Okay.
your brother there too? Same
My
high
brother,
school?
yes, but he left his sophomore year to go to residency down in Bradenton. So he was there for his junior and senior year of high school, then went to college. Yeah,
Oh, all right. There's an older or younger brother?
older.
Older brother. So how was that like? How was it like playing with your brother?
I actually never. Well, I never got to because literally right when I got in, he left
Right.
because he's
Oh,
too
word.
old.
Okay. So I guess while growing up, then how was it? Kind of, being little bro and playing with him.
It was cool. I mean, obviously, us both having the interest in soccer was great, and it was nice to always have someone to like play with whenever or train with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But apart from that, our paths were like they're obviously intertwined because we both ended up playing professionally and stuff. But at the same time, they were different because he had his own path. He went to residency, did the whole national team thing, and I just didn't. And I just went to college and stuff like that. So it was cool, kind of to have our two different paths, but we still obviously loved the same thing and played.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How was so while you were in high school, you knew you wanted to go to college to play. Was that the goal?
Yeah, because my brother did it. So when my brother did it, I was like,
Mhm.
and he got a full ride to Duke. So I was like, oh yeah, we have the right. I
Hey,
was
so you
like,
linked him at Duke then?
yeah, but yeah, kind of. He also got injured when I got in, so we actually didn't get to play. It's like crazy, yeah.
Dang.
But
Dang.
yeah, so like he obviously went down that path, got a full ride to Duke, and I was like, oh yeah, like you can go get a good education, also still play, good school. So like my thing was like, yeah, college is kind of where I want to be, obviously, and try and get a full ride. And like that was kind of the mentality throughout high school.
Okay.
Can you touch a little bit on that, like in terms of how the process was for you in comparison to maybe like your brother going down to residency for the college recruitment process?
Yeah, I mean it's basically kind of how they have now with academies, which makes it I think 50 times easier for kids
Yeah.
because they all go to the same place. The best players are together
Yeah.
on the teams. But basically, then it was just your team had to be good to get in, not even invited, but to go to these tournaments. Like Dallas Cup was a big one for us, coming down here to Dallas, or Disney, the one in Florida, the showcase. Like there was only a couple tournaments throughout the year that were showcases where all these universities would be at. So like those were the times where I mean you had to pretty much play, and that's literally all like the time that those coaches get to see you. Like that's it in that
Right.
showcase. If they come to 5 year games, then cool. They could literally just come to one. You play bad, and it's like we're gonna pass on him and go somewhere else.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just kind of at the end of the day, it's just about every time kind of trying to step on the field and just kind of do your thing, right? And if a coach likes you, then they like you. If they don't, you're like, all right, well, there's I don't know how many D1 schools. There's so many. So
Right.
you're like, there's always hopefully a chance that you go where you need to go.
Right, right. So how was the conversations like with the Duke coach?
They were short because they actually didn't recruit me until really late in like
Mm.
the process. I
Okay.
was looking at like Wake, Stanford. Those were like my top two, and Wake was like in North Carolina. So I was like, my brother's in North Carolina, like that'd be dope.
Right.
And then like really late in the recruiting process, Duke was like, yeah, like we'll pick you up, we'll give you a full ride. And I was like, oh, I could play a year or two with my brother. I guess it'll be a year with my brother. And I was like, yeah, like no, like
No
real need
brainer.
else. Like I'll just go there. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you go over there, North Carolina, Durham. I've been out there. I'm from North Carolina, bro.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm a little north of Charlotte in Concord. I don't know if
Okay.
you heard about that.
I
So
don't
I
know.
did a little visit over there in Duke, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful campus, but dog,
Yeah.
it seems like it's in the middle of nowhere for real.
You just didn't know where to go. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're right, bro. I
Durham.
was like 16 visiting
Yeah.
it.
No, Durham is it's an interesting. Like you said, it's like well, first of all, I assume you went to East Campus, right?
Yo, wherever that big, like,
Oh, so
where
that's
the
central. But
chapel?
Duke actually has three campuses.
Oh, where?
So
Okay.
there, where you're at is central, which is like the main one. That's like where everything is. Then
Yeah.
they have campus is where only freshmen live. So your first year, it's only freshmen, and then there's obviously classes and like a food hall, but it's literally only freshmen on that campus. And then they have Central Camp. Or wait, no, West Campus where you like where you're at. Central is then just literally housing, it's like apartment buildings, like whatever.
Hmm.
So my first year, I loved it because it was like you're literally getting close with just people in your class,
Yeah.
whether
Right.
it's your team. And then we were obviously in the athlete dorm, so we had like basketball players with us, lacrosse, like everyone. So that's dope. And then as the years go on, like you start like obviously they move you around, but it's dope. I really had like a great experience there, and I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what was football like at Duke?
It was
Throughout.
interesting because so when my brother went there, they were nice. Like made the tournament consecutive years, had a good team, and then my coaches who I think they just came in. I don't know if we were there. No, we were like their second recruiting class. So they're kind of like rebuilding everything.
Hmm.
And my class, we had like eight of us, and we were just yeah, we were crazy. So we were just doing whatever kind of what we wanted, having way too much fun, and not focusing on like the football part of it. But and then now they're nice, so it's like damn, it's really just us. But whatever. But no, but it was good. I mean, it was really good. My first year, I kind of struggled just more on like a personal side with like my anger and like stuff like that on the field. So it was more like personal issues.
Hmm.
And then second year was a little bit better, but then my junior and senior year, I kind of like shaped up and I was like, all right, if I actually want to make it to the next step, I got to start doing like these certain things and like acting like this on the field and stuff like that. So it was a very good learning experience for me. And I was able to mature, I think, a lot in those 4 years or 3.5 years. to then obviously help me again have another platform into playing professionally.
Yeah. So I guess while at Duke, did you also have that goal for yourself to go professionally and play somewhere?
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it until I would say maybe my junior year. That was like my best year, and that was when that was the year when I was like, okay, like I think I can actually do this. Like, you know, like everyone has like the goal and the dream, whatever, but like
Right.
that was the best years, and that's when I was like, okay, like I'm better than a lot of people in college. Obviously, the guys who don't go to college at my age that do whatever, but I think I can be one of the best ones that come out. If obviously I can't at that time I couldn't join the draft because I'd be a homegrown for Houston, so I decided I wasn't going to do that. But I was like, I think I would be one of the better guys or better defenders in the draft class. So yeah, like so then that junior year, my senior year was kind of when I literally that was like the goal for sure.
Yeah. Because you had some accolades too, huh? Little postseason recognition.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
couple.
yeah. So junior year, everything turned around, huh?
Yeah,
Okay. So what, graduation? You graduated from Duke as well?
yeah. I had to speed it up. I graduated a semester early because I was just like, I
Mhm.
want the semester, want to get out
Hmm.
as fast as possible. My parents wouldn't let me leave early. They wanted me to get a degree, which is like fair.
Yeah,
But
respect.
yeah, but yeah. So I ended up doing it 3.5, and then yeah, dipping.
Okay. All right. And where were you off to after that? From Durham, what's next?
From Durham, I went to Denmark. Went on trial with Aalborg, and I think that was it. Yeah, so went on trial with Aalborg. That didn't work. It not that it didn't work out. Apparently, they wanted to sell a defender, transfer window, whatever. They didn't end up selling him, so they couldn't pick me up. But then the team we
Right.
played against were like, "Hey, we'll actually take him." So I ended up at AC Horsens, which is on the west side of Denmark, and then I was there for half a season. So that was like till the summer, so 6 months about. Then came back. Our coach got sacked, the one that signed me. New coach came in and was like, we don't really see you playing. So I was like, oof, that's rough.
Damn.
So then I actually went on loan to another team, Federacia, in the same league. So I was there for the last 6 months of that year. Come
And which year
back.
is this?
This is 2014.
2014.
Yeah, this is 2014.
Okay, so
So then,
you were one of the first to go out there.
yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah. So 2014, yeah, end of 14, I'm like, all right, I had a decent season with Federation on loan. Think I'm gonna come back and be like, all right. Then my contract ended in that following summer. So I was like, all right,
Mm.
play out this last half of this contract and hopefully like re-up, stay, whatever, get back. Coach still on the same whatever. Oh, that's a cuss, but never mind.
Yeah.
I was like, I
I
was
think it's
like,
calm on the pod, right, Camille? No,
Yeah, bro, we allow that, bro.
coach is still on the same shit. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I'm talking to my agent, but yo, what's the move? Because I don't think staying in the same league if there's nothing like if nothing's gonna come of it. Like if
Mhm.
no one gets interested, it's time to either go back to the US
Right.
or just figure something out in the meantime. And that's when he was like, all right, a team in Iceland is like interested. And I was like, Iceland? Like where in
Mhm.
Iceland? Like, and then he's like, oh, in Reykjavik. And I was like, that's the capital? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. Let's see what happens. Went there, had the most fun I've had in like 6 months ever in my life. And going
Playing or off the field?
Who-
off the field. Off the field.
no hesitation still. Oh my
It
god.
was so fun. I had so much fun. Obviously got to play, which is good, but did that and then came back to the States and then was kind of like, all right, now what's the next step? And that brings us to like 2015 now. Yeah.
So what was
Before
living?
you
Oh my bad. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. No, I was about to ask the same thing. Before you hop into like now being back in the US, can you talk a little bit about like that transition from going to being college player at Duke, go to Denmark, and then into Iceland, like both personally and the football side of things?
Yeah. I mean, so on the football side, it was strategic in the sense that my agent and I looked at leagues and
Mm-hmm.
where the technical ability, like I'd be challenged technically and not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily because that
Smart.
was what efficient in like my game was I wasn't the best with my feet. So we looked at leagues where I would get obviously playing time, but I'd have to focus on my technical ability, and that's kind of how we landed on Denmark. So the way I like looked at it wasn't like difficult for me to play, but I just had to become cleaner, which was like the main thing that I wanted and what we wanted at that age to obviously become better. And then off the field, it was interesting because obviously it was like my first time away from home. Obviously, I was in college, but with the time difference and everything, like I would be awake when everyone's asleep and kind of like that. The only good thing for me was that I'm very like okay with just being like by myself. Like I'll find the time. So it was fine, but I can see why like some players when they go overseas, they're like, oh, I'm homesick and stuff like that. Because at some point, like sometimes I was like, damn, I'm just bored. Like I can't talk to them, I can't do nothing. Like obviously you have your teammates, but it's a different culture, different everything. So it's just like, but it was interesting. I mean, again, like going back to when I was young, I think also me moving a lot as a younger kid, I was like okay with it, and I knew how like ways to kind of just deal with certain things.
That's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So you're back in the States. So what's the move in the States?
So we come back to the States, and I'm sitting there like, damn, like, all right, so where are we going? And then my dad, I don't know why, has like GM's number of Houston Dynamo, which would have been my homegrown team. So I played in the academy my senior year of high school or something like that, senior or junior year. And then
how'd you do that from Oklahoma?
So we ended up throughout high school I ended up moving like my junior year.
Okay.
And that was when like the homegrown rules were real flexible. So it was like I literally only played a year, maybe a year and a half, and then they're like, yeah, you're homegrown. So then my dad had the Dynamo's GM. He's not the current GM anymore, but number. And I honestly don't really know what he said. But next, I got to call him like, hey, our season's over, but we're training. Like the young guys are training. Would like you come in? And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go in, train, and at the end of it, they're like, hey, we want to give you a homegrown contract. And I was like, all right, like that's dope. Like,
right.
I mean, it's like the club that my academy team, like I'm a homegrown for that club. So like I really liked that club. Like my academy coach was still there and all that. And I really liked the club. So I was like, cool. Went there, had a whole year, didn't play a single game. And I was like, yo, this is ass. Like, I was like, this sucks. Like, but what made it worse was just because it was my homegrown team. So I was very excited to put on the jersey.
Right.
And
like,
so that's kind of what, I guess, I wouldn't say sucked, but it just kind of like hurt a little bit. It stung more than anything.
Right.
And then throughout that time, they sent me out on loan to RGV, which was the second team in the Rio Grande Valley in McAllen, Texas. Don't ever go to McAllen, Texas. And then what was the other one? And then I think halfway through, like McAllen was so bad that I was supposed to be there for like 5 days. I bought my own flight like 2 days in and just went back to Houston.
Dang.
The assistant GM was like, yo, are you in Houston? I was like, absolutely. And he was like, wow. I was like, have you been to McAllen? I'm not going back. I'm not going back. So then they like put out another loan to an NASL team, Rayo OKC, which brought me back to Oklahoma where I grew up. So it was kind of dope.
Okay.
So like that's kind of why I was like, yeah, I'll go there. Played in a bunch of games for them. Actually had a decent season, and then came back to Houston again, thinking they would re-up. Declined my option, and then we're at that point again. I was like, all right, now what's next?
Yeah. So to circle back real quick, one, how did you get with your agent?
How did I get with my agent? I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess my junior and senior year, because obviously now it's not anymore. NCAA rules, you're amateur, so you can't have whatever agent. So basically, anything that was agent, I guess, the subject of an agent, I just steered to my dad. So he would talk to all the agents, basically.
Okay.
Smart.
Yeah, and then he'd figure out, like, he'd ask all these questions, Like, I literally had no real, like, I talked to the agent that I ended up with, but it wasn't like a deep convo. I would literally just ask like, so what's your plan? And I liked his plan the best about going to Denmark, working on my technical side of things and stuff like that. And that's kind of why I went with him. And so that was kind of it. It was like, obviously all the agents, like they basically just wait and they're like, yeah, they give you what they expect from you or what they want to give you, what they want to do with you, like in that sense. And it's just kind of like, all right. And then you kind of obviously, if you're lucky enough to have multiple, then you can just pick whichever one you want. A lot
Right.
of guys, I don't know about a lot, but maybe you just have one and you go, yeah, I'll just go with you. You don't want that wants
Right.
me. So I'll just go with that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess
Yeah.
to segue what you said earlier, your goal to go to Denmark was to get a little bit techie, right? Better on the ball
Yeah.
and everything. When you came back, did you notice that, okay, I'm more confident on the ball. I'm able to hold my own. Did you like improve overall?
I don't, I would say no, because I think what I, what I realized is that the MLS is just fast,
Okay.
like compared
Yeah.
to a lot of other leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, now it wasn't just about being technical. It's about, can you be quick and technical? So it's like making your
Yeah.
decision. And so like that was then now the learning curve, which I had to get with.
Right.
And yeah, yeah. So it wasn't, I would say no, until I went to New York did I actually finally see like that foundation of like the technical side of my game actually like start to come out and come through.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And was New York the
We're
next move?
Europe, you said?
No, well, no. I was saying, was New York the next move from Houston?
No, I went to San Antonio first.
Okay.
I went down to the USL for that
yeah.
year and then went to New York. Yeah.
Okay. Go
I,
ahead, Chef.
I
You got
was just
something?
about to say, no, yeah, just because we're at a very interesting part now of the timeline. Come out of college,
Yeah.
have the fortune of going to play in Europe. Unfortunately, things don't work out in Houston. Now, San Antonio FC, right?
Yeah.
And then you end up being Defender of the Year,
Yeah.
USL, right? So talk to us. I mean, just kind of give us like a timeline, of course, before then going to New York, but also, again, just talk to us about like, I would love to hear more about the mentality bit of it, of going and spending a year in the USL and, getting that hunger back to get back to the MLS as well.
Yeah. When I signed with San Antonio, I was pissed, not because it was San Antonio, just because of like what
Right.
happened in Houston. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt that I had wasted a year, more or less, in that sense. Like I could have gone things that like Houston didn't have to sign me. Because I forgot actually when I came back from Iceland, I actually went on trial with Red Bull first and then
Mm-hmm.
came. And Houston actually had no idea that I went to trial with Red Bull until Red Bull was like, oh, we want this guy. And apparently Houston obviously had my
Right.
right. So that's how that all happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that part. But yeah. So then obviously after that year, I felt like, yeah, I wasted a year. I felt like I could have gone somewhere else and maybe got more playing time. I'm not saying I would have started every game, but a little
Yeah.
bit more. So then after that season, I was pissed. Like I said, it stung. And then an old coach that I used to play against in college, he coached at Elon. I'm sure you know where Elon is.
Yeah.
He was the head coach. I think it was Elon. He was the head coach of San Antonio. But he remembered me from college, obviously, and all that. And he was like, hey, if you don't have a contract, we'd love to have you here. And I was very hesitant to go because I was like, I don't want to touch the USL because
Yeah.
it's so hard to go from USL back. If you go from MLS to USL back to MLS.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But like it reached the point where it's like, okay, no other MLS teams are interested. Let's just kind of just say, fuck it, go to USL, go to San Antonio, try and ball out and try and get back. And like that was kind of like my mentality throughout that whole season was I just want to be a dog. And I just wanted to just like do everything in my power to just win and kind of just like not in a bad way, but like get back to MLS. Because
Sure.
in my head it was like I believe that I was good enough to play in MLS. I just wasn't given a good enough chance.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of my mentality through it. And it just so happened that we had a great team and a lot of stuff clicked. And with
Right.
my mentality and what the team wanted to do, it just kind of like meshed together. And from it, like we had a really good season. I think we also won like goalkeeper of the year and stuff like that. So it was like we had a really good year for sure.
Yeah. So you said Defender of the Year in the USL?
Yeah.
Whoo, real bad man. You don't know. Come on, bro.
Yeah, it
You
was a
gotta
good
stop
year.
playing with him, man.
It was a good year for
So
sure.
I'm assuming you go down there, you do your thing, you get that. Your phone blowing up, huh? Every team in MLS hitting you, huh?
Not really. No,
Damn, then they don't know ball
that's
for
not how
real.
it works,
It's
unfortunately.
crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world, though.
I
Damn.
think the only reason I actually went to New York was because for some weird reason, they were our affiliate. Because remember, at one point, every MLS team had a USL affiliate.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we were their affiliate. And that's when Patrick was the head coach there. So obviously I did well. And then my agent's like, hey, New York wants you to go to precinct with them. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, because in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably just going to go there. I'm trying to do my thing. If I get picked up, I get picked up. If I don't, I just go back to San Antonio. You know what I mean? Just because of how, like, difficult it is. So I go there, and I did, I mean, just the same stuff I was doing in USL, kind of just normal stuff that I do. And, yeah, I get a contract. It's a 1 plus, I don't know, 2 or something. The Eric first contract that you get. And cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. At the same time, they signed a French center back. So I was actually, like, 4th. I was a 4th center back on the roster. So I'm like, cool. So then first game of the season, no, I think one of the center backs gets injured. So the 2 starters are playing. We're playing Kansas City away. And so I'm just sitting on the bench like, yeah, I'm not going to play, whatever. And then Patrick's like, yo. And I was like, what you mean? Like, what? Like, let's go. Like, I can't remember the score. Like, we were up. You just want to see it out. So I play that game. And the next, at the end of the year, I played like 26 games in my first like actual year there, or 24, something crazy. And I was just like, okay. Like the next year I did pretty well again. And yeah, and then stuff just kind of just kept going through. Yeah.
Man, we need to stay on this NYC FC topic for a second because man's just dropping Patrick as if we're just talking about who are we talking about when you say Patrick? Can you clarify for the listeners? Of course, bro. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about having Patrick Vieira as a coach.
Bro, that's crazy.
And then maybe give us a little story if you have one that you can share of men like Patrick.
Bro, it's crazy. I didn't even clock that. I just feel like he's saying Patrick. I'm thinking like y'all two know a dude named Patrick.
That's what I'm saying. He just breezed over it. He breezed over it.
I mean, no, it was dope because growing up, Patrick. So when I was playing growing up, I was a 6. So obviously you look at guys that played. I mean, I wouldn't say Patrick. Patrick was a 6, I'd give or take. Yeah. And so he was one of my favorite players watching growing up. Mm-hmm. So obviously it was dope when I got to New York and he's a head coach. Dope. But no, like it was crazy. And that's why I said I didn't really see like that foundation of like the technical ability until I got into a system that was like run by like Patrick. And then after him was Dome. Like guys who didn't care if you really lost the ball. They're like, yo, all you have to do is just read what they do and figure it out. And it was almost like it became like robotic in a sense where it's like we'd be in training and it'd be like, goalkeeper has this like, Seb, you should get the ball. And the 9 presses you. Where does the ball need to go? And I'll be like, I mean, it just has to get back to the other like center back. And he's like, exactly. And he's like, okay, if the winger presses you, where does he go? I go, it has to somehow end up with our right back or the winger on that side. Mm-hmm. No. Like it was just stuff like that, like where everything now is just like automatic. It's like, oh, he's pressing me. All right, I already know the 6 is looking at me. Like, all right, hit the 6 and it's going right there. Like, so it was just like crazy, just how automatic like things became, and just how everyone knew. Like, obviously, like people are still gonna mess up. Like maybe you think something or a team does something different. Obviously, like that can happen. But it was just that idea, like just having all those ideas in your head at the same time. Yeah, so it was dope. For sure.
I remember one of the first times you mentioned the just your experiences with Patrick as well, and like how simple he made things, just like you said, right? Like he just kind of just gave you those automatic triggers of when, a ball would go to certain players and where it had to end up. So it's super interesting.
Yeah, no, it was dope. And then like a story about Patrick was that like, first of all, he's a child. So like I have skinny legs, but he also has skinny legs. So like we'd just be at training, like no one's saying nothing. Like everyone's just chilling. And then he would just look at my legs and just be like, yo, your legs are so skinny. And I'm like, brother, we are built the same. Like, what are you
brother?
I'm like,
crazy from him.
I was like, what? Don't act like you exact same when you were playing. Like, and then actually another funny, no, this one's actually funny. So we're in Houston, right? This is a summer in Houston. Like, so it's dead live. Yeah. We have a training session before, like the day before the game. So we walk out in the field and I'm like, whew, it's hot. So all the men, they were like all together. It was like me, Rodney Wallace, who else was there? Saad Abdul Salam, like, so Kwame Awar, like we're all just like walking. and like Patrick is kind of like he's like 20 feet in front of us. Like we're all just talking, and he goes, "Yo," like he just goes, "Hey," and all of us just kind of look at him, and he like looks up and he's like, "It's hot. I should play all the brothers." And I was like, "Bro, don't do that."
That's so wild, man.
All of us just kind of looked at each other and was like, "He's not serious. Like he's actually not serious." And then the next day we're playing. Obviously, we play Houston, bro. It is so hot. 5 minutes in, we're getting thumped, bro. Like no one can breathe. Next thing you know, Patrick's on the bench, looking at the bench to see who can put in. Rodney Wallace, top guy as well. Played at Portland, New York, like a bunch of different clubs. Costa Rican national team, like that's one of the homies. He's on the bench. He tells me like Patrick looks at him. My guy literally looks away, like the other way. And he's like, "Yeah." No, man.
That's crazy.
They were just seeing all of us suffering, bro.
It's just one of those where you just have to watch the men them suffer. You don't want to
like,
touch
hey,
pitch at all, bro.
We'll run it back next week. This one is just not gonna happen. Ew, it was crazy.
It's a wash. It's a wash.
Yo, man's on the bench. Like, no, I'm not. I see him struggling. No way, can't be me either. No chance. It was too funny. Patrick was hilarious. Such a hilarious coach.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask this earlier. Was Pirlo, Villa, all them heads there while you were over there as well?
No, Lampard had left. Pirlo had left. I think the year before Pirlo had left. I'm not sure when Lampard left, but yeah, David was the only. I think he was the only one there. Yeah.
And y'all spent a season together?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a season or two. I can't remember when he actually like retired. I don't know if he retired, but yeah, retired or no, because he went to China after, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to get his bread.
Yeah. So bread, he already had bread.
Fair enough. More bread.
Hey, no such thing.
Bread already. I'm like, get his bread.
Fair enough.
Yo.
My bad.
I was like, huh? This guy lives in a brownstone in New York City. He had his bread. Yo. Oh my dude. But yeah.
What was that like?
It was, I mean, obviously he was good. He was nasty. Like,
yeah.
For him, I think for a guy that size to be able to play 9 in the MLS just shows you like how technical he was and how like still be able to perform and score goals. Like, yeah, he was crazy. He was good.
His finishing and training must have been cold.
Bro, it was mad. Funny story though. There was one story like one day, I don't know what was going on with him. And we were just like, it was just like a finishing drill or something. I can't remember what it was. And so I just had to play him the ball. He'd take a touch. And like, I can't remember like what else happened in the drill. So like I started with the ball. I played him a ball and I probably missed him by like 2 inches. And he was like, oh. And I looked at him, I was like, yo, don't do that. Like, that's crazy. So then he's like, yo, give me another one. So I'm like, all right, cool. Next one I played right at his feet. Takes a bad touch and he's like, yo. And he looks at me, he's like, hey, like, play me a good ball. And I was like, what? I was like, all right, cool. Next one, fizzed it on the ground, like right at his foot. He takes a bad touch again. He starts cussing. And everyone's just looking at him like, yo, you got to fix up. Like, this is crazy coming from you. This can't happen to you. And so we're just like, and that, like, that's when he finally, like, I play him like a soft one. He takes it and, like, scores and is like, see? And I was like, nah, don't do that. Actually, don't come at me, though, because you're crazy that I said this, because your touch crazy because I'm talking to David. But I was like, yeah, don't do that. That's wild. Your touch, no matter where I put this ball, should be immaculate. I'm not hearing that.
Now that you mentioned the David training story, you got to go back and tell the Patrick training story where he had to sub in.
Which one?
Remember, he was trying to turn. He was trying to show the midfielder how to turn. No, was it Patrick or was it someone else?
No, that's Thierry at Montreal.
Thierry at Montreal.
That was crazy. I heard that story and that was wild.
You got to tell it now, just for the viewers.
The Thierry one. So I think it was just like, I don't know what was happening. Like, they're doing some drill where he's like, yo, like, your body shape has to be better. Like, it was a tight space. And he's like, no, you can turn out of that. And I don't know who it was. He was like, nah, like, I can't do that. And he's like, what? He's like, yes, you can. He's like, no, I can't. He's like, all right, move. Like, he goes in. Someone kisses the ball. My guy said, out, plays it. And he looks and goes, see? And it's like, brother, there's levels to it though. Like you can't
Can't
just look
compare.
at you just can't just
Can't
look at anyone and
compare.
say C. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on.
Crazy.
But
I
nah,
was
Jerry nasty, bro.
I appreciate the fact that y'all are really just first name basing everybody right now, bruh. Like I'm glad I know a little bit of ball, bruh, just to know who the hell y'all talking about right now.
Crazy.
No, reason I'm not first name's Henri though. That's yeah. Only Patrick, because Patrick was a guy. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
I was a coach too,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. So how was the second season there at New York?
It was good, and then Patrick decided to dip. I think he went to
Nice.
Nice. Yep, and then that like started the whole pattern of like losing a coach within like every 8 months, 8 to 12 months. So then, because we were part of Citigroup, we ended up getting Dome Tarrant, who was Pep's like right hand man,
Right.
which was again sick because like Patrick was obviously very possession based, but Dome was like very like
No matter what. Yeah.
like, I don't care. We were playing
Mhm.
out everything, and I was like, say less. That's fun.
Yeah.
Like it was wild. Like we played. I think we had a goal where every man on the field touched it, starting from like the goalkeeper to like our nine,
Tough.
like 30 passes or something. So like that was a lot of fun too, and again like helped with my like technical stuff again, playing out of tight spaces, doing all that. And Dome was a good. How do I say it? He wasn't the best player manager, but he was a good coach. I liked his style of playing, but like he was one of those coaches who was like, oh yeah, if you have a problem with your playing time, don't come to my office. And it's like, huh? It's like, who else am I supposed to talk to about this? It's like, what?
It's a fair question.
The guy that makes the decisions. I shouldn't talk to. He's like, nope, I don't want to talk about it. Don't want to hear about it. If you have any problems, talk to one of my assistants. And it's like, yeah, but they got to tell me what happens. Like, and then like, I'd get like, or someone would be hurt, so I'd have to play. And after the game, he'd be like, Seb, you played so well. I wish I could start you every game. I'm like, you wish? I'm like, huh? It's your choice. What do you mean you wish? like, what are we talking about? If you want to start me, you can start me. What do you mean you wish? But yeah, but no, he was also a good coach. I really liked playing under him too. It was like, I think we probably played the most, like the best, like total like football with Domi for sure. Everyone wanted to play. Everyone was looking to play. Everyone was like, the movement off the ball was great. And like a lot of us just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so then was it in season 2? Sorry to interrupt you, Camille. Was it in season 2 or season 3 that you make then the move to LAFC?
That was season 3 with again another new coach. Yeah. And then under this new coach, I just wasn't playing at all. Well, so I came out of the COVID year, the bubble year.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 injuries like back to back. I had a grade either 1 or 2 hammy, came back and then did my calf. So that year was like a wash. Like I was like, yeah, whatever. And it sucked. Then I had to go down to Orlando to just basically do rehab. And I was like, it's bad. So come back to New York that following year. I'm like, all right, cool. We're healthy again. Let's try and get some games in. Really wasn't in the plans. Played only a few games here and there. And then like midsummer, last day of, well, I didn't know it was last day when the trade came up. Ended up in that, like get traded to LA while we're in Chicago on an away trip, like between away trips. It was yeah. John didn't respect me either.
You said what?
I said John didn't respect me because he tried to make me fly that night.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You told me that.
Yeah. Yeah. So how I got traded was kind of crazy. But obviously I wanted to trade. So that's kind of why I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, so you had kind of asked for one because you weren't playing as much as you wanted to in New York.
Yeah. After that, like that preseason or that earlier offseason, I had asked, hey, is there any chance I would get traded? And I was basically told for my salary, it'd be dumb on their part to trade me because I get paid so low, but my performance is above what I get paid. And I was like, that's the craziest double-sided compliment I've ever heard.
Right.
I guess.
At least they were honest about it. Damn.
Yeah.
Told you straight up why.
Yeah, and basically the GM Dave, who I actually really like, because like I said, he was very honest about it. He was just like, look, the only way we ever trade you is if on our part the money makes sense. And I was like, That's fair. I like you. I like that you're upfront. I'm not going to argue that. Again, it was a compliment what he said, but it just kind of sucks in like just a scenario.
Right.
And I was like, cool, all right. So I honestly didn't think I was going to get traded until I hit free agency, or I didn't think I was going to be able to go to a different team until I hit free agency. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So you were on a away trip when you heard the news.
yeah. We had played Chicago the night before. Guys who didn't play had training that morning, so we went to go train, and then literally bus pulls up to the hotel. So we're doing a double away stint. So it's Chicago, then straight to Toronto. So
Okay.
we play on a Wednesday. We train Thursday. We were gonna fly out Friday to Toronto and then play Toronto on Saturday. So all I got with me is like my little, the little rolly bag, all that rubbish thing, full of like
The Adidas joint.
yeah. So all I have in there is just straight like New York gear, like just team
Yeah.
gear because I'm not
Right.
doing nothing, like whatever. So then we get off the bus after training, and I'm walking up to my room, and our GM comes up and he's like, "Hey, Seb, do you have a second?" I'm like, "Yo, it's good." And he's like, "Oh, LAFC approaches with a trade, and financially, like I told you, for us, it works, but we're not gonna trade you unless you want to be traded."
Respect.
Yeah, and I was like, "Huh." I was like, "All right, well, let me get back to you on that. I'm gonna talk to my agent, she was my fiance at the time, talk to my fiance about it because she had just started school in
Mm-hmm.
Philly,
Yeah.
law school in Philly. So I was like, oof, this timing could not have been worse. But anyway, so I was like, all right, just give me a couple of days. I'll get back to you, Dave, and we'll figure it out. And then he goes, and I was like, what? He's like, oh, the trade deadline ends like today. And I was like, what? He's like,
Fuck.
yeah, it's like a couple hours. I was like, all right, cool. So I go up to my room. I call my agent. I'm like, yo, LA wants to trade for me. Have they told you anything? He's like, no, they haven't told me anything. He's like, okay, hold on. He's like, let me call John Thornton, LA's GM. I'll talk to him. Da, da, da. So he calls him. In the meantime, I either called or texted my fiance, and I was like, hey, just so you know, I might get traded to LA. We're trying to figure it out. I'm not sure really what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So then my agent calls me back and he's like, hey, John wants to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Get on the phone to John. And he's like, hey, we really would like to have you here. Obviously, I think it was Eddie who torn his ACL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like Eddie's torn ACL. So we're down the center back. Like, we see you as a 1-for-1 swap. Like, you're going to get playing time, this and that. And I was like, oh, all right, bet. So I'm like, cool. So I talked to my agent. I was like, yo, is this a good move, though? Like, in the long run, playing time wise, all that. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't play for the half of the season, and the next season comes and I don't play.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I understand like why you're being cautious about it, this and that, but it is a way to get out of New York within like your contract. Hopefully you have a good year. Oh, because that year I had just re-signed with New York too. So I had signed it. So, and he's like, next year is guaranteed anyway. No. I think that was my last guaranteed year. Next year was an option. And he was like, next year's an option anyway. So if you don't pick up your option, again, you can go anywhere you want. You have nothing to lose in this scenario.
Right.
And I was true, perfect. I was like, let's do it. So we do it, like right at the trade deadline. I'm like, all right, Dave, cool. So I like texted like the guys. I was like, hey, yo, just so you know, before it like comes up, I'm getting traded to LAFC. I've accepted the trade, this and that. So some of the guys like, hey, yo, when are you leaving? Because we got to step out. And I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. And so like, this is when like John, or I don't know, it was Jeff. So the team for LAFC was like, hey, can you catch a flight tonight? And I was like, tonight? And I was like, no. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have enough time to go back to New York, grab stuff, and then go to LA. But I don't know if Jeff like didn't like understood like that I was in Chicago and not in New York. But he was just like, oh, no, like you can just catch a flight tonight. And I'm like, no, I cannot. I don't have anything with me. Like I need to go back to New York. And they're like, and he's like, oh no, you can just go to New York in 2 weeks when we play Atlanta. You can go from Atlanta straight to New York. And I'm like, in 2 weeks? What are you talking about? Like, I don't have anything.
Right.
So then he's like, okay, if you can't do tonight, can you do a flight tomorrow? So I'm like, bet, I can do tomorrow. What time? He's like, 6 a.m. I'm like, oh, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I text him, man. So I'm like, yo, let's hit it. We went on road. I stay up to like
On road.
we went on road. Went on road. Obviously, I think stuff in Chicago closes at 2. I don't know, 2 or 3. But like my thing was like, if I fell asleep, I wasn't gonna wake up. So I was like, I just gotta stay awake. So like I'm in my room for like, I think I slept for like 45 minutes, like a quick nap, wake up, drunk, hop in like Uber, get to LA. My agent's like, okay, I'll meet you there in LA. So in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, cool. I'll get to LA, do my entry physical, and then just be able to like go to the hotel and just chill. These guys are like, nah, you're gonna come into LA, you're gonna go do a stadium tour. And I'm like, what? Okay, cool. Took the photo with it.
Yeah, you did the whole thing.
Yeah,
Dang.
tired. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then they're like, oh, then you have individual training with who was it with?
Anton, maybe?
No, Anton wasn't there. Danny.
Guzman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bruh.
Probably
I
ran
was
you.
like, yo, what am I doing? No food since the night before, no water. I was like, yep. But I was so tired that they left food for me and I forgot the food and just left. Like, that's how tired I was. Like, they're like, yeah, don't forget your food. I literally just forgot. I came back the next day and Noni was like, yo, you forgot your food. I was like, yeah, trust me. I was gone. Like, I'm done.
Going through something.
Yeah. I was like, whatever. So then finally get to the hotel and I'm like, oof, like done, day's done. And then they're like, yeah, you're traveling this weekend to San Jose. And I was like, what? I just got here. Like, I trained twice. And like, yeah,
Crazy.
probably won't play, but we like want you on the bench, whatever. And I was like, all right. And then, yeah. And that's how like my like entry to LAFC, yeah.
Bro, that was probably the most interesting shit I ever heard because I've never like heard the inside like logistical shit of a trade like
Trades are crazy.
in any profession, bro.
Trades are crazy. Like you seen like the NBA guys, like they'll look on Twitter and it's like, oh yeah, I just got traded, and they're like, wait, what?
Before they even heard
Yeah,
it themselves.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like
bro.
crazy.
like I just had the courtesy of Dave, and like we were on a good relationship that he was like, hey, if you don't want this to happen, I will block it. And I was just like, I want this to happen. Like, I appreciate you. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's
what a
great on his part.
story. Damn.
Yeah.
So, hey, LA though, bro. I mean, that's probably the
Yeah.
best move you could have made for a.
At the time, no, because we did make the playoffs and New York won. So I was like, damn. But then obviously the 2022 season, we balled out and we did our thing.
Yeah. So talk about that season right there, because I was at a few of them games, home and away, man. Shout out, Chef.
Yeah. No, that season's interesting though, because I mean, obviously we signed Giorgio, which is crazy. So like at the beginning of the year, I thought I had a good preseason. So I was like, yeah, because I'm trying to lock down this left center back spot. And I'm like, I'm doing everything. Like me and Marco actually. And Marco's like the left back. I'm like, yo, Marco, we gotta lock this shit down. Like, gotta
Yeah,
do it.
that's right. I forgot Marco was still there.
Shipped over here to FC Dallas, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to lock it down with him. So cool, whatever. I think Ryan starts playing on the no, it's Cheeky. So Cheeky's still there, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Tough.
so we go through preseason. And I'm feeling good about preseason. I'm like, yo, I did my thing. It's cool. And then I don't know who started the first game. It was Murray and who was it?
Bro.
I'm
Of
drawing
2022? Huh?
I'm drawing a blank because obviously it wasn't Eddie. No, who was the center back?
Wow, I'm showing no respect right now.
Fall,
I can't remember.
Was it
Fall, yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
Fall.
It must have been.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So it's like him and Fall. So I'm like, all right, cool. Because you remember that first game was Portland
At home.
and Fall.
Yes.
Fall scored in like the 90-some minute.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Doing whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
But so then obviously we end up tying that game, I think.
Believe so. Damn, good memory.
Goes on and then Fall. So like things happen where I don't really play a lot. And actually in the beginning of the season, I talked to Mark, our assistant coach, and I was like, hey,
Right.
Mark, do you think I should ask to get either loaned out or get traded? And he's like, why would you do that? And I was like, well, I'm not playing, obviously. So it's like, and he's like, no, I think it's way too early for you to make that decision. Actually, that's not even what happened. It was like my agent was pressing me because he's like, yo, you need to play. So obviously next year teams see that you played and then we can figure it out. And so he was pressing me to ask for a trade, or I don't know about trade, but to get loaned out somewhere. So I asked him, he's like, no, absolutely not. You shouldn't go on a loan. I think it's he's like, Mark is saying this, like, I think it's way too early to do that. You have no idea what can happen within the season, this and that. So I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, whatever. Obviously, I like being in LA. I like the team, I like the organization. I loved everything about it. So I was like, that's fine. If all those things for me are right, a lot of times, like, I'm kind of okay with certain things. And so for me, it was, okay, cool, like, just kind of grind. So we grinded. And then comes summer, like that Open Cup time. And then I ended up playing like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 games or something, played pretty well. So in my head, again, I'm like, cool, I played well again. I locked this down. And then we signed Georgia. And I'm like, you guys are kidding me, guys. And then obviously,
I remember that Sid too. You were balling. You were doing so well.
I was like, obviously I love Georgia. And I was like, God damn it. Like, ain't no way I'm playing now. Fine. But no, I mean, obviously having Georgia on the team was like great. I mean, his presence was just, I mean, one of the best people I've probably met through soccer and had as a teammate for sure. And obviously it was kind of cool to also play with him, to learn some things from him and all that stuff. And so then another like drought of playing games, really played like randomly here and there. And then didn't play for a while. And then the first game I play in was Western Conference Final. Yeah. Did Giorgio get hurt? Yeah, Giorgio gets hurt.
He did his calf, I think it was, or something, right?
I had to play like the last, 20 or something?
Yeah.
And so like that was my first like significant minutes. It's only 20 minutes in like a couple weeks or like months.
Yeah.
And then that happened.
I mean, that game was wrapped too, because I think it was LAC. It was weird. It was up 3-0, right?
Yeah, it was 3. Is it 3-0 or 3-1? No, 3-0. Yeah, you're
3-0,
right. Yeah,
and then you had the 20 minutes see out the game.
Yeah, 3-0, see out the game, so it was fine. It wasn't too crazy. And so obviously the upcoming game is MLS Cup. Yeah. So I'm sitting like, yo, I don't even know if I'm playing. Like, we went through the week like I wasn't playing. So I'm like, cool. I guess I'm not playing. I guess Georgia will be fine. Like, whatever. So then I don't know that it's a game time decision, basically. So I have no clue. So I got ready for MLS Cup like it was like any other game. And I'm just like, yep, I'm going to be in bench. I know like Georgia has something. He might have to come off, so I might have to go on. But like, I'm like, whatever, we'll see. I literally walk into the locker room and Steve is right there. And Steve goes, hey, by the way, you're starting. And just like walks away. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I had nothing. Like, he really didn't elaborate nothing. He was just like, oh, yeah, you're starting. But, like, in a sense, I was like, damn. In my head, I was like, yeah, he has, like, a lot of confidence in me because he just feels like he can just say it like that and just, like, walk away from me. And I was just kind of like, all right, cool. And then went out there. Thought I played pretty well.
It's a man of the match performance if it's not for John McCarthy or a man like Gareth Bale.
Gareth, man, what a legend, though. Like I said, yo, that guy dunked. Nah, that was crazy. That was nice. But, no, obviously, I think it's one of the craziest MLS Cups in history. Wild. Dope game. Definitely like one of the dopest games I've also been a part of. And, yeah, that year was crazy.
What number penalty were you taking? That penalty shootout, do you know?
I did not feel my legs. I did not want to take a penalty. That ball, if I take a penalty, one or two things would happen. I would either smashed it as hard as I can, and if I missed, I missed, or that ball was like rolling to Andre Blake's hands, bro. I was so tired after that game.
Crazy.
It was wild.
Crazy.
Bro, so I was watching that, obviously, right? And me, Chef, and one of our boys have a group chat. So me and the other guy are always texting about the game. Chef can't respond. So we going back and forth. I think it was like 2-1, boom, 2-2. And I was like, Then we go to the side, bro. We didn't want to say some of the shit that we wanted to say because, Chef right there. I'm like, bro, it ain't looking too good for real, bro. Because I'm like, Philly on their ass. And then, Crepeau. Boom.
Yeah.
The leg, the red. Oh, shit, bro.
The leg was, when that happened, I was like, it's not looking good. But We keep
right?
going.
That's what I'm
Whatever.
saying.
We keep going. We see what happens. It is what it is at this point. Like
Yeah.
that was
And
kind of like,
also in the group chat, I was telling our friend Jordan, right? But I was talking to Chef, I knowing he not gonna answer. I'm like,
yeah.
Chef, your boy Seb having a fucking game right now, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I
Like,
was just trying to be everywhere I could be. I was like, yo, I'm just trying to just put out any and
Yeah.
whatever pulling up. Like I was like, whatever,
yeah,
Yeah.
to do whatever I need to do, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what was the time like afterwards, bro? That's the real important question. You
it
win
was
the
fun.
thing.
It
What's the
was fun.
celebration like, bro? You in LA, you could do whatever you want, whenever you want, however
Well,
you want for a.
I told Ali that if we won, I was outside for 3 days straight.
And you fulfill you
We
fulfill that?
I was outside.
were. Yeah, we were. We were.
My wife was there. She came out the first night for a little bit, and then I was like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna be outside." She's like, "I know, go do your thing." So she was out the first night. Where did we go? We went to that speakeasy or whatever.
So it was like the club did a thing at a
Yeah,
hotel, and then we went to
Poppy.
Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Poppy.
And then John McCarthy pulls up with the MLS. Wait, was it the MLS Cup?
Nah, he didn't come. He didn't come with the
Oh, he
trophy
didn't.
that
It was
night.
with his
No.
MVP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he pulls
And
up.
Franco
Poppy
Franco
closing.
Escobar was there.
Yeah, and Poppy was, and Kellen was there. Poppy was
Yeah.
closing, and I was like, "Damn, John, you missed the party, brother. We're out." Link me down in Manhattan Beach tomorrow. No, the next day we had the parade.
The parade.
Yeah, so then I wake up the next day, boom, take wifey to the airport, come back. I don't know where I went. Started drinking at my crib, probably smoking hookah.
Ah, yes, sir.
Showed up to the parade, lit, bro. I was like, yo, I don't care about a thing in the world right now. Like,
And
I'm
ain't the
here.
parade in the middle of the day too, bro?
Middle
It
of
was
it.
like
I
4
didn't
p.m.
care. Did not care.
Cigar and everything.
Cigar, everything. Had the scarf worn like a babushka. I went and bought fresh hookahs because I was like, yo, I know my feet are about to be crying today. Went and bought some fresh hookahs. Did that. What did I do after? Oh, yeah. Then I was like, yo, I drove here. I can't drive back. Like, I'm done. So then Paul, security guard Paul, was like, yo, just leave your whip here. Come back tomorrow and get it. And I was like, bless you. Thank you. Left the whip. Ubered back to my crib. Either that or back to Manhattan Beach.
No, we went into WeHo that night, didn't we?
You
I
did?
think Manhattan Beach was night 3, I believe, but I don't know. I don't know.
It sounded like y'all had one big ass night for real, bro. The
Lovely
combination of it
celebration.
all.
Where in WeHo did we go, though?
I'm because if we went to Manhattan Beach, we were going to Shellback, right? I don't think we went to Shellback.
Yeah. Shellback's my spot. But anyway, maybe you're right. Yeah, I just know one of the nights we were in the back of Manhattan Beach, just drinking at Shellback, but it was just a 3-day road trip. That's what I'm gonna call it. That
Last
was it.
time.
It was fun, too much fun. And then I had to calm down. I was like, yo, because that year I had remember I broke my hand.
Yeah,
So
you couldn't. You weren't supposed to be. You had the surgery.
yeah, I had the surgery like December. I had a broken hand. I was just wilding out, still playing golf with a broken hand. I was like, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I need to calm down.
And Kellen had left for the World Cup already.
Yep.
So many people had left. It was a weird week, honestly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because everyone left so quick.
mm-hmm.
Damn, I don't have anybody to party with. I guess I just party with myself and Ollie right there. Whatever.
Thanks.
But no, it was fun. It was fun.
So that basically, roughly brings us to present day now, right? So
yeah,
obviously win cup with LAFC, and then you end up making a move to where you are now, FC Dallas.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about how that's been now.
It's been good. But actually, apparently, FC Dallas approached John and wanted to trade for me during the year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And the only reason I knew that was because my agent hits me up and goes, hey, guys at Dallas want to trade for you. And this was like midsummer, like, oh, they want to trade for you. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, and he's like, yeah. Has John said anything to you? And I was like, nope. And he's just like, oh, do you want to bring it up to him? I'm like, nope. Like, not really. Like, if he wants to tell me, he can. I mean, if I get traded, I get traded. Like, at that point, I was just like, it is what it is. So I think like the whole week goes by, and my agent is like text me every day. He's like, did he ask you anything? I'm like, no. I'm like, brother, you just talked to you obviously talked to him. You talked to him then. Like, that's why kind of you're my agent. Like, what do you want me for? And then like at near the end of the week, he calls me in and he's just like, hey, out of courtesy, I need to tell you that FC Dallas approaches to trade you. We don't want you to go, but at the same time, we want to leave that door open for your answer. And if you would want to go, you can go. And if not, we love that you stay, obviously. And then I was just kind of like, yeah, with where my head's at right now, I don't want to go. Because this is also like coming off the summer where like I played a lot of games and I played well. So I'm all like, and in my head, I'm like, yeah, Giorgio's here, but Giorgio doesn't play on turf. Like Giorgio can't do like a Wednesday, Saturday game. Like there are still chances to play in some pockets. So I'm like, nah, like I want to stay with this team. This team is obviously like we're doing really well. Like I think we just have just like Denise here. Like we're good. Gareth is now here. I'm like, yo, like I see us like kind of doing something. So I was like, nah, I'll see this year out. Because again, if you guys don't pick up my option or no, I'm a free agent. So after that year, I'm a free agent. So because in my head, it's like I'm free regardless. So it's not really a pressing situation. And he was like, good. Like, happy to hear that. We'll tell them no at this time, da, 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 da. But then obviously my agent being my agent on the side is like, okay, cool. But I'm still going to keep that line open with Dallas to see what happens in free agency. So I was like, man, do what you got to do. I'm just going to focus on playing. And then we'll get to that when we need to. So obviously, yeah. So we win Cup. And then pretty early in the offseason, Dallas reached out. I'm like, hey, obviously we want you here. That we actually try to trade for you, this and that, da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, like I'm liking what I'm hearing, this and that, a lot more games. And then I was like, I just need to give John and this organization time to put something together, just out of respect. Like, I'm not gonna tell you guys that I'm just gonna sign for you. I need to give them the respect to take their due diligence and get their stuff together and present me with something that I can just say yes or no to.
That's great.
So I did that. What they came back with, my agent didn't like, and I was just like, yeah, just in comparison to like what Dallas is offering and you're giving. And I'm play, which for me is always the biggest thing. It was just kind of, I'm leaning towards Dallas. So I think like a couple conversations my agent and John went, I don't really know how they went. Again, I don't really like to be like a part of those things. Like obviously I just want to see like what's given. And so he gave me what was given to him. And respectfully, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll be coming back just because it's a big opportunity for me at Dallas to kind of solidify myself as a starter and play a lot more games. And so, so then took that route and then came here, had a 1 year here. Pretty rocky season. We made playoffs, but I don't think we did as well as we wanted to, obviously. And then kind of crashed out of the playoffs. And so now we're trying to re-up this year and trying to do better in every way possible.
All right, so how is everything in Dallas this season after crashing out of the playoffs kind of early?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I think obviously 3 games in, it's not good. We won 1 and 2 and lost 2, but I think the style that Nico wants to play is really good. Again, he's another possession-based coach, like very, and I think putting players in positions to be uncomfortable, but also kind of growing their game and being able to play in those type of situations really helps. And we have a very young team, and I think it's a learning curve for them, for a lot of guys, even for me at times too. And it's just about kind of trusting in the system and understanding that, shit might happen, but we still have to kind of just stick to what we're trying to learn and trying to make our identity, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of aspirations you got for yourself with Dallas this season?
I want to win a trophy for sure.
Okay.
Open Cup. I want to win Open Cup because that gives you, what do they call it now? CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Champions Cup, yeah.
Or whatever. And then Leagues Cup, I think it's a good trophy, but it's a tough one to win. And at the end of the year, MLS Cup, being able to go through playoffs and win the MLS Cup, I think, is the hardest trophy to win. Because, I mean, it encompasses a whole year. I guess you could say Supporter Shield, but MLS Cup is like encompasses a whole year of playing well through playoffs. So I think that one would have the most meaning in the sense that we actually put together. I guess you don't have to have the best regular season, but you put together a good year and put yourself in a position to win that. But yeah, so I want some trophies. I want some trophies for sure. Yeah.
Okay, all right, a couple more rings. I see you. All right, go ahead, Chef. Do your thing with this one, bro. I know you into that.
Yeah, no, I mean, so now we've kind of wrapped on somewhat of the playing history. Would love to tap into something that still has to do with the footy, but definitely one of the drippiest players in the league currently. Just talk to us about, I guess, just general interest in fashion and how you like to express yourself on game days.
Yeah, I mean, to the expressing thing is that I was never on a team that I was allowed to wear whatever. So in New York, we had to wear travel gear even for home game. Although we did partner with Not Standard, which is like a suit company, which is dope. Like the suit was fire, I'm not gonna lie. But like you can only do so much with it. Well, not really, but in that sense, you can do so much with the suit. And then LA was the first team that I played at where you could wear whatever. And then I've always loved fashion. And so for me, it was about, I never really thought about, oh, let me like wear this so like people notice it. It was just kind of like, oh, I want to wear this or wear that to a game or whatever. And that's kind of how it's played out. And then obviously like people take note of it and like, oh, this and that. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, like I just really want to wear this today. Like this is kind of what I saw. I wanted to wear it. And that's what I did. And so that's kind of where a lot of my fashion sense or I don't know, that kind of comes from. It's just me seeing something, be like, huh. Like a lot of times, like I'll see someone else like wearing something, or I'll see like a suit. I'll see someone wearing a suit, and I'll be like, suit's very formal. How can I break that down to be formal but still look good? Because it's still a suit at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's kind of how I start like playing with certain things. Like my first fit of this year, I actually wore like, I think a nice button up, but then wore like wide leg, like dress pants. So in the sense, it's still kind of like a suit, but then just like added like an orange jacket, just like throw color in it. And it's just like little things like that I like to do. It's just adding like little subtle hints of things or even like loud hints of things. Sometimes maybe that's color or whatever. And just kind of either breaking something down or like bringing something up for sure.
That's tough. Who are some of the other drippy guys in Dallas right now?
In Dallas, Coast is a big one. I like to call Coast a similar version of me, but like, you know, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which one's the crazy one? Mr. Hyde.
I think Mr. Hyde, right?
He's Mr. Hyde, and I'd be like Dr. Jekyll. Like we like our fashion is very similar, but he will like just take it a crazy way, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll never do that, but like in a good way. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I'm like, yeah, like I see, like, but it fits. Like if you know him personally, it fits his style, fits his demeanor, fits everything like he does, and all that. And that's why I like it, and that's why I respect it for sure. So he's definitely
makes it unique to him.
Yeah, and so for me, like he's definitely up there on this team. Who else on this team? Paul Arriola.
Yeah,
he's had a stylist past couple years, I think, or last year. I think now they're going more solo, which is cool to see because I think our stuff will be tailored to how he actually wants it, which is cool because I think he has a good fashion sense. Let me see. I think that's like on this team, that's kind of like it. There's not like really a lot of the guys that try to push it for sure.
I've always found the fashion thing in footy to be so interesting because like when you think about it, like you're at the crib, right? Let's say it's 3 hours till kickoff.
Yeah.
You put your fit on, you get in the whip. Then really all it is you walk from the whip to the locker room and you get changed immediately. Bro, it wasn't until I got into this environment that I didn't clock that. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking like, damn, like they must spend a little bit of time, like maybe pregame meal in the fit or something. Y'all walk into the locker room within minutes. It's done. No wonder y'all keep the tags on it, return the thing right after. Crazy. Makes perfect sense.
Literally, yeah. It's for like not even 5 minutes of walking from the car to the locker room. And that's like
But
it.
it's great though. You feel
No, I
put
love it.
together. You know you
Yeah,
get to. It's almost a little bit of a distraction, maybe even too
yeah. And
from
like
the
you said,
game.
earlier, it's just expressing like
Yeah,
maybe a side of you that people don't know. Like, oh,
for
this guy,
sure.
Facts.
like that people never know of unless they saw you like how you dress outside. But a lot of people don't see players just on the street chilling. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's a very good way to kind of express yourself and kind of brand yourself in a way.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to go off of Chef's question, give me your top 5 best dress that you've played with all time.
Wow.
Played with
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
don't include yourself.
in like numerical order or just whatever.
Nah,
Just
nah. Any like
Yeah,
five.
okay.
Top
just
five for
five.
sure.
I would say Kellen
I'm
Acosta.
tired of this, man, bro. Everybody say Kellen,
What?
bro. Damn, bro.
It's true though,
Everybody be
bro.
saying
It's
Don't do
true.
that. Why are you
It's
doing that
true.
though?
Nah. I'm with
You
it. I'm
gotta
with
give
it.
a man
Trust.
his flowers. You gotta give a man his flowers when they're due. You gotta give Kellen that. I put Coast there.
Yeah.
Um, that I played with. Damn,
We can bring back Denmark too, bro.
I'm trying to.
Nah, because Denmark must have been tracksuits anyway, like team
That was,
tracksuit.
yeah, I'm trying
Oh
to think.
wow.
That's a tough one. Top five. Trying to think. Because again, like a lot of my teammates, so at LA, I would say Denis is pretty swaggy. He's just very like
Designer heavy.
high fashion, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like what he picks from there. Like he doesn't just
Right.
go like the generic. Like he's still getting like nice cargo pants. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, that's crazy. But that's you. You got it like that.
Yeah. He really got it like that now too. After signing that new contract.
Good for him. That's blessed.
Facts.
You love to see it. That I play with though. Okay, I'll put Jesus Pereira there.
Yeah.
I do like his swag.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff.
Was that 4?
Man
Yeah,
loves
that's
a go
what.
yard too. Gotta respect it.
You know who loves a go yard too? I'll put Paul in there. Paul loves a go yard.
Paul, yeah.
Got like 4 of them. I'm like, yo, Paul.
Really?
Great. Well, he says 2 of them were gifts. I'm like, yeah, all right. Whatever you say, bro.
That's some generous gifts.
I'm
You ain't gotta hide it, bro. I mean,
like, yo, whatever you say. Nice. That's all I'm gonna say. And if I end up with one, you know where it is.
Nah, that's a solid top 5, bro.
I got 2 more questions, Camille, but
Yeah.
you got another one.
Nah,
You
go
want me
ahead,
to
bro.
go?
Go ahead.
Toughest away day in the MLS. Toughest place to go and play and get a result.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know what it is about Vancouver. Because the city's blessed. In the summer, the weather's blessed.
Right, y'all love Vancouver, man.
Amazing city.
What?
Amazing city.
Vancouver is top 5 MLS cities to go to.
Bro, every time we play in Vancouver, I pray that the FBO closes early so that we stay the night after the game. I'm like, everyone slow down in the locker room. We got time. I'm
The
trying to
guys are like,
stay.
yo, we gotta leave at 9. I'm like, brother, no, we don't. At 9:30. I'm outside. Nah, Vancouver to me is top 5. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the field or just how they play. I don't know what it is about Vancouver. Every time I play there, it's rough. Like, not even that we lose. It's just like a tough game or the game is just ugly or something. I'm just like, yo, I don't know what's going on here. But every time it has to be Vancouver. For me, it's Vancouver for sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
You had the second one?
Yeah, no, then my last one would just be if you had and I don't know if Camille had a similar question, but any piece of advice that you have for, let's say, a player that's somewhere around like 16, 17, trying to figure out if he's going to college, if he's in an academy, just
Yeah. I mean, I think at that age, it's obviously having the idea of what you want to do. So like, obviously if your goal is to play pro, then that's the idea, right? But
right.
It's then not fixating on just like being a pro. It's also enjoying that time you have to becoming a pro, but also making sure that you actually put in the work to become one. Because I mean, how many kids, even a lot of guys that I grew up playing with, obviously wanted to go pro and they didn't go pro, or they played pro for like a couple years and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the end result that we forget all those stuff in between, and just trying to kind of be more present in that and understanding what your weaknesses, what your strengths are. How can you make your weaknesses either not weaknesses or even one of your strengths is even more important than how your journey goes to become a pro. You know what I mean? Like, you can play in the USL for 2 years and then fix your shit, and next you know you're in MLS or overseas or whatever. There's guys going from USL to overseas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the path isn't always just like straight. And I think a lot of guys get distracted when it's not perfect. And it's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just work on yourself, work on whatever you need to get better. And a lot of times everything kind of just takes care of itself.
Amazing piece of advice.
Solid,
Appreciate
bro. That's
that.
solid by me for sure, bro. And I guess let's go ahead. Let's do a little last question. Once you hang up the boots, man, you got any idea what you want to get into, life after football?
Yeah, I want to get into fashion. I want to be
Okay.
a stylist for sure. And I think that's kind of like, apart from football, that's like my other passion. Is the fashion side is a really big passion of mine. I don't just like do it because I like to do, well, I do like to do it, but I just don't do it because like I'm good at it. It's because I actually like love fashion and love being able to express myself. And I also get a lot of joy from seeing other people being able to express themselves and through fashion. So for me, it's like, that's kind of why I think that's what I want to do. And that's really, really what I would get into.
Hey, man, listen, this episode, bro, I'm telling you, I had so much fun. Like that ass, I was laughing the entire time, bro. Thank you. You gave us more than enough time, stories, everything, bro. Thank you for sharing everything, giving us the time, and bro, just laughs, like
No,
laughs, bro.
Yeah.
This got all the laughs.
Amazing times.
no, I appreciate you guys for having me for sure.
Yeah, bro. Well, yeah, we wish you good health, a good
Yeah.
season. Do your thing at Dallas, except not against Galaxy, but you know what I'm saying? That's all
That's
right,
right.
man.
That's right.
G's up, baby.
You know the vibes.
Trying to bust net against Galaxy for sure. 100%.
Man, bro, all right, we'll wrap this up,
Yeah, you
man. Thank
said.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Let me
Appreciate
go
you
ahead,
guys.
pause.